More information regarding Redfall has been leaked. Star Wars Knight of the Old Republic Remake is claimed to be releasing on PC at the same time, and Far Cry 6 have crossover plans. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Top Gaming News. My name is GaminMadness, and let's just jump into some of the interesting news that's coming up right ahead. Redfall is an upcoming zombie co-op FPS game announced by Arkane Austin, the team behind Prey and Dishonored. And even though there hasn't been a lot of information about the game officially, but someone from Reddit claims he has much more information about the game. Now all of this could be completely false, so I would say to take this information with a pinch of salt. According to this user, the game is described as an open world in the line with something like Borderlands and Breath of the Wild. The core story will take you across the world, but there's also side missions and fights. The gameplay style is similar to Borderlands, and the open world will be seamless, similar to Fallout 76 or Ghost of Tsushima. You can play the game solo or co-op and can choose from 6 playable characters, with each character having their own unique hero ability. One character has a bird that acts like a drone, and the other could cloak for added stealth. Another character had a teleportation kind of ability. You can play this game stealthy or guns blazing. You can also gain XP by either finishing the main objectives or doing the side missions. There will be boss fights similar to Borderlands, and speaking of fights, you need weapons. So the weapons are just going to be traditional ones such as rifles and handguns, but there are also unique weapons such as stake launcher. Enemies will be a dynamic mix of ranged, melee, vampire, or even human. There will be NPCs in the game, but the AI won't be replacing human co-op. For example, in Back 4 Blood, the AI replaces every single teammate if you're playing solo. But in this case, if you're playing solo, you play solo, and if you team up with another person, then it's you two who's playing the game. Apart from all the information, he also posted a bunch of photos. It looks like you will again, as stated before, move around the world, going from one location to another for side missions or main story. It does look pretty good, and you might have this thought of how this game does not look as shiny as it should. Do remember that it's still in progress and hasn't been completed yet, so there will be tweaks and changes as it comes to the release. According to the leaker, the game should be releasing sometime in 2022, and if that's the case, there should be another trailer reveal at the Game Awards this December. So far, what do you guys think about Redfall? Let me know in the comments below, because the only trailer we have seen is a cinematic cut that doesn't explain a lot of things, but I would love to see how this game and where it goes. One of the biggest games announced in last week's PlayStation Showcase was Star Wars Knight of the Old Republic Remake. The original was one of the most beloved RPGs from BioWare, which was released in 2003. The remake, although is not going to be made by BioWare, it's actually been made by Aspyr, a studio that has recently remastered Star Wars Republic Commandos. Aspyr has done a lot of porting in the past, such as Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, its sequel Jedi Outcast to Nintendo Switch and PlayStation. It has also previously ported the original Knights of the Old Republic to iOS devices. The dev says that the remake will be console exclusive on PS5 at launch and then will later on launch on PC. But VentureBeat's Jeff Grubb says that the game will be launching on PC and PS5 at the same time. As for Knights of the Old Republic, it's set 4,000 years before the start of Galactic Empire during the early years of Galactic Republic. As a member of Jedi, players will travel throughout the galaxy attempting to defeat a Sith Lord. It was critically acclaimed for the RPG system, which allowed people to follow the light side or the dark side of the Force. According to the lead producer, they want to give both the newcomers and long-time fans an experience that can live alongside the very best modern games. They are rebuilding the game from ground up with the latest tech to match the groundbreaking standard of innovation established by the original, all while staying true to its original. What are your thoughts on this classic game which is being remade, that is Knights of the Old Republic? Let me know in the comments below, because to be honest, it looks pretty exciting and I cannot wait to see how people will react when they finally play the remake of the 2003 game. Speaking of PlayStation games, one of the most biggest PlayStation games, Uncharted, is coming to PC. Although it's not every single Uncharted game, it's only Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy, its spin-off. Both the games will be coming early 2022 on Steam. This was previously reported in a presentation for Sony investors, where it was mentioned that Uncharted 4 will be the next game coming to PC. But now we know that another game has also been added to the mix. According to PlayStation blog, the PC port is being made by Iron Galaxy Studios and will be released shortly after the PlayStation release. Eden Galaxy have done few ports in the past, but recently have ported Diablo 3 and Overwatch to Nintendo Switch, and Crash Bandicoot, Saint Trilogy and Spyro Reignited to PC. It is definitely odd to see how Uncharted 4 is being released to PC and Lost Legacy is being released to PC, but not the first 3 Uncharted games. For someone like me who has played Uncharted 4, understands that it actually has references to the past 3 games. It is not like you have to play the first 3 games to understand an Uncharted 4, because Uncharted 4 on its own is a separate game, but it does have small, very tiny connections, only references to the past games. And maybe some characters also are returning, so of course, there are connections. At the end of the day, it is always better to play the previous games to just have a little bit more understanding of what's going on with Nathan Drake and his family. Don't worry, he's not dumb, he doesn't do those crazy stuff. Actually, he does even more crazier stuff, but it's fine. Regardless of all of that, it's great to see Uncharted 4 is coming to PC, because to be honest, Uncharted 4 is one of their biggest Uncharted games of all time. And I would love to see how people will react because of the amount of action that game has. And also Lost Legacy, it is also a very brilliant game. All in all, people are gonna have a blast and I cannot wait to play that game on PC. You have seen Fortnite doing multiple crossovers, whether it's Marvel, DC, Keanu Reeves, or literally anyone. But it's different when someone else starts doing it. And when someone else starts doing the same thing, it's called copying someone else. That's exactly what Far Cry 6 is doing. Far Cry 6 is coming out on 7th October, that is next month, and it definitely looks interesting, but what's even more interesting is its post-launch content. The game will have 3 crossovers: Rambo, Netflix Stranger Things, and one of them will be Danny Trejo, the actor. The first crossover where Danny, teams up with Danny to kill a lot of guys, so Danny Trejo can run his taco restaurant in peace. So it's gonna be a lot of fun killing everybody everywhere. Rambo All Blood won't feature Stallone, but will feature a Rambo superfan who will help commit more violence against Yara's military. And the last crossover is called The Vanishing, that sees the game cross over with Stranger Things. You will be tasked with whoever kidnapped Chorizo, your little puppy friend from the base game. Okay, fine, you got my attention, don't you do anything to that puppy? Looks like you will be visiting a similar place to Upside Down in Stranger Things with a lot of gooey things all around. And since it's Stranger Things, there will be definitely monsters to kill. Apart from that, Far Cry 6 has more post-launch content, with one of them being Special Operations, which means that there will be 6 unique operations where you will have to complete some objective, like transporting a chemical weapon to an extraction point and more. The catch on that particular mission is that you need water or other cooling effects to keep the temperature gauge from steadily rising, otherwise it will explode. Weekly insurgencies are typical combat challenges where you will face tough enemies and earn rewards. This will start day 1 of Far Cry 6 release. Well, the content doesn't end there, because if you pre-order Far Cry 6, you get Far Cry Dragon Blood, plus the 3 DLC adventures starring Far Cry villains from the previous games. You will be visiting each villain's backstory in a twisted way and learn more about them. These missions will be played differently and will be roguelike, which means die and repeat loops. You will start with a basic pistol, kill enemies, get loot and return to base to get upgrades before eventually escaping each region. Ubisoft is definitely bringing a lot more in Far Cry 6 this time, because I've not seen so much content, especially in a Far Cry game. Already announcing crossovers in the future with so much more content planned right up ahead. It's like I'm looking at Cyberpunk once again. Overall, Far Cry 6 doesn't look that bad. Again, we'll have to wait and see how Far Cry 6 is actually going to be. What are you guys' thoughts about Far Cry 6? Are you guys excited? Are you guys gonna play? Let me know in the comments down below. And with that being said, that was all the news that we wanted to cover in this episode. Thank you so much guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed it and got some information out of it, let us know in the comments below, and also hit that like button. And also one more thing, if you haven't seen the previous episode of Gaming News, where I talked about Battlefield Mobile being a thing coming very soon next year, check that video out right now to know more.